What's going on? What's going on?
What's happening? What's going on?
Man, you look real vibrant, bro. You got a
You
nice
know,
mocha vibe, got a nice mocha-ish going
come on,
on,
man.
man. Maybe
That's
you
what
want to go get a
mine
mocha
is.
latte. If you
Mocha
want to go get a
latte.
mocha latte, mocha latte.
My nickname, bro.
How's everybody doing? Welcome to Local Musicians.
XP.
Hey, man, we are in our second year of
Wow.
all of this great fun. We are going to keep talking until somebody listens. That's how we look at it. Might as well. Ain't nothing else to do, right?
Right.
Nothing else to do. So, welcome to the show. We are here for your audio and visual pleasure on this stormy Tuesday evening here
Sir.
in Atlanta. The weather is warm to me. It's crazy.
7 degrees earlier today.
So, here we go, man. You know what that means. The temperature's starting to do this. I'm gonna start wearing my mask around, man, because I know it's coming. I see people. I'm like, man, I should be wearing my mask in inside too. You know.
There was somebody last night wore it, and I overheard the conversation, and they said, "No, I'm not sick, but I got a string of gigs, and I can't afford to get
I
sick.
can't afford to get sick. That's the thing I'm talking about, man.
Can't afford to, bro."
Yes, sir. So we want to thank y'all for being here. What's up, Rich? Rich is number one into the show. Brad, you have lost your trophy. You lost your trophy. You were second.
Now I got to give a disclaimer because Rich was in before we even launched. He was on the YouTube.
True. Yeah, that's true. See, but if you want to get to it,
first place, you got to get to first place.
Go to the YouTube, man. Got to go to the YouTube. Rich, what did Rich say? He'll get better.
Rich found the loophole. Loophole, bro.
Calling you out, Brad. Calling you out, man. Man, we got some competition in the chat, man.
Yeah.
Competition in the chat. These are like devotees. I really thank you guys for all of your support. We've had people that have been here since the beginning, man, pretty much every week. And we want to thank everybody for coming in or for being here with us and supporting us, man, and believing what we're doing. And because sometimes we don't know what we do. We don't know what we do.
I see you, Brad. I know you can take it, bro. That's good.
Look at this. We are going to figure it out. Betty Wooten. Hey, Betty, how are you?
You can't even get through with the pleasantries. And Betty's like, what y'all talking about tonight?
Well,
Lamartina sounded good last night, brother.
Lamartina with the floor time lick, man. He did this floor time lick, man, in the solo with the crazy crescendo at the end. I was like, whoa, where'd that come from? Where did that come from? So yeah, man, we had a cool night at the session last night. We played a tune that I will say, man, is I'm really glad that Joe made he said, man, we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna do it. So we've started playing a tune by Wynton Marsalis called Skeins Domain to open the session on Monday nights at Napoleon's. And it's a really great exercise in many things. So if you are a budding jazz musician and you really want to challenge, I highly recommend working on this particular composition called Skeins Domain. You will not, especially if you're in the younger bracket, you will not understand what's going on. Even in the older bracket, it can be a trip. But I'm gonna let you talk a little bit more about some of the technicalities of the tune. But man, you always have to challenge yourself. You always have to push yourself. So even doesn't matter what style of music that you play. find something to work on that makes you completely draw a blank when you play it, and it's something that you may even want to run from, because learning things learning things that are difficult, and sometimes, we had a conversation this afternoon, it might not even make a ton of musical sense at the time.
Right.
But it's great to test your mental, your aptitude, right? I mean, your physical is always, technique, you can work stuff out technically. Is that's just about what? Sitting down, repetition, getting the reps in, doing things over and over. But when it gets up here, that's when it becomes real interesting, man. So what are your thoughts on this tune?
Well, I mean, I want to ask you a question there too. There's barometer type of songs and things that you have to check the temperature out on. Test tunes, I call them, right? All right. So young cats start learning how to play a fast rhythm changes. That's one of those barometer tunes, big boy tune. Giant steps, barometer tune. Seven steps. That's like a barometer tune, right? So it's those kind of tunes that, look, I'll give you a perfect example. My brother Dave started lifting weights like crazy, right? And so we all used to lift weights some, and then he just like after his divorce just started lifting like crazy, right? Blew off steam. So we have this friend named Julio. He's pretty strong, compact type of dude, but he's always like one of those cats that mouth off and says stuff. Shout out to Julio. But so we were in my brother's they were in my brother's pool room at the time, and he had a weight bench on the other side of it. And Julio says, "Dave, I bet I could beat you on the weights like that," right? So Dave doesn't even look like he lifts weights, but he's strong, right? So David says they're going to match, right? So he says to Julio, "Why go through all of this? Put all the weights on there."
Okay.
Just matching one for one, whatever. Let's put all the weights on there. Dave cranks out 300 pounds 10 times.
Okay.
So Julio gets underneath there, and as soon as he touches the bar, it falls and smashes on his chest like that. My dad, like, get it off of him. Get it off him, right? And he learned a valuable lesson that day, that he wasn't as strong as he thought he was, right? So there are certain tunes in jazz legend and lore that's like that, changes that you got to work with. You can't hear Bolivia. You got that first part of Bolivia, but the changes they're different. There's not regular 2-5-1 stuff that you're hearing, giant steps like that. Any of Wynton's music, and which his nickname is Skane, by the way, and Branford's nickname is Steep. So any of those tunes, if you see Steep Blues or Skane's the domain and stuff like that, you already know you in for something. So
Delphio's Dilemma.
Any of those, right? One Finger Snap is one of those songs,
and that makes me want to explore more, because the 80s, man, that was a tough era for jazz, for straight ahead jazz, because everything had really kind of started to tilted to kind of like the funk jazz, and then your contemporary jazz is starting to really climb in the 80s. So, I always tell this story. People ask me how I got into jazz, and I didn't know anything about jazz, but there was you remember the Columbia records and tapes? I think I told you this story. So you get 11 for a penny or whatever that was. Man, I don't know how those people stayed in business, but because then I don't know anybody. Did anybody pay their bill from Columbia tapes?
My dad made me
put it in the chat if you paid your bill
to Columbia.
Put it in, because I want to know, because I don't know anybody, man. So, but I was looking through, how sometimes you just order stuff, what you kind of want, you go through, And I remember I saw Wynton Marsalis Black Codes from the Underground. I don't know what
Did
made
you
me
get it?
order that.
All right.
I got it, man. I got it. I was in, I must have been either early in maybe middle school, high school, early high school. I can't remember, but
Right.
I had been listening to a lot of music that I didn't know at the time, but was like odd meter type
Right.
stuff, like Rush and Yes and stuff like that. So when I put on Black Coat, that spoke to me because it was like the da 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 da. I was
Yeah.
like, whoa,
Right.
what is this? This is jazz. I like this.
Right. Right.
So, but and then I never really listened to it until much,
Well,
way
so much
later.
music was happening in the 80s. And
But I'm gonna go back, man, and
yeah.
explore because what those cats were writing, I
Oh,
guess
yeah.
they had nothing to lose because
Well, you got to think before that, though. So the catalyst for all the Wynton stuff was when he won the Grammy in classical and jazz at the same time. And if you think
well,
about
what
it,
year
cats
is that? What year is that?
he won it in 86 or 87, somewhere around that time, right?
Right.
But you got to think the lost generation of jazz is the cats who were really killing as well, but they didn't get they didn't get the notoriety Wynton got. It was a real crazy. I was talking to Steve Teray about that. Steve Teray's generation, where they were playing jazz in the late 70s. Woody Shaw and Mulgrew Miller was killing people. Just now
Man, there's some
discovering
great stuff, the late 70s stuff,
yeah,
man.
but so much stuff was happening musically that's the forgotten years. And then when Wynton won that Grammy, instead of him, he was like 18 years old, 19 years old. Instead of him, like them going to those cats, Woody Shaw and all those guys and stuff like that, they crowned Wynton, you the man right now. So
Man,
imagine how they would have felt, bro. You know what I'm saying? Imagine how they felt like, dude, we're in our 30s and we're killing.
man, that's a great. We gotta really
Right.
go back and do a little research on
Right.
all that because I can only
Jimmy Owens.
imagine you gonna give this
Right.
little sucker
Right.
all
And Jimmy
the
Owens was a trumpet player, and Jimmy Owens is like, dude, I paid my dues. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what does
wow.
that say?
So let's see. Blow that up, B.
Yeah.
So 84 looks like
You got the jazz instrumental album.
but there was an early one for 19.
Yeah.
What was 1984? Oh, here it is, improvised jazz solo.
Yeah, but it's the same year that he won the classical one is the one he got. There it is. Oh,
okay.
no.
Contemporary classical.
Orchestra, there's 84. Maybe it's 84. I thought it was 86, but he won the Grammy at the same time, the same year. Yeah, scroll back up. 84 improvised jazz solo, and then jazz instrumental album. So instrumental solo without orchestra solos.
That must be the classical right there.
Yeah,
84. That must be it.
Yeah.
That must be it.
So yeah, you think about the cats in the 70s up to that point, and then he gets that Grammy in both, and then he says, I'm a jazz musician who can play classical. That really broke it wide open because they were all certain that he was going to say he's a classical musician that can play jazz, which is a different connotation, right? Now, if you say I'm a jazz musician that can play classical, then they're like, wait a second, because we were into this thing of higher tier of Western music, right? And it had been always Indian classical music and stuff. It's just that the hierarchy of that was put a preeminence on classical music. So by him stating that, but anyway, that the whole point of it is the music that they were creating, they were out to just like say, come try to play this, come play this and see what's up. And with Tane Watts and Kenny Kirkland and even Robert Hurst and Reginald Veal, those cats, they were just like hungry, and they were like ready to set things on fire. But Miles still was playing at that time. He was doing a different thing. So you had all these old heads that's in there and the people that's crowning them. And Ellis said, man, they offered him a contract at Columbia Records. Because think about all of his students that he had at NOCA, including his sons, went on to have good record contracts. Terrence Blanchard, Harry Connick Jr.,
Right.
Ken
Interesting.
Kent Jordan. People don't know about Kent Jordan. He was a flute player. And then his brother Marlon Jordan came along, played trumpet, and looked just his whole look was like Delfield. I mean, like Wynton. Brian, if you get a chance, look up Marlon Jordan.
Trumpet player. Marlon.
I remember I went to NOCA. He was a senior when I was a sophomore, and NOCA's New Orleans Center for Creative Arts. This cat had a contract, but he got his contract because he learned Carnival of Venice, a classical song, by ear. Just listen to the records on Wynton's record. So crazy, man. Yeah,
that's the era. That's the suit. Bring back the suit era, ain't it?
Suits, those little round glasses,
the round glasses. And then later on was the big suits. You remember cats was rocking the big suits, man. Yeah. Big suits, dude.
But yeah, so I said all to say those are those songs. It's like you said, take on something difficult. You know what I'm saying? So that's older Marlon Jordan. You gotta go young, Marlon Jordan.
That's like a right there. Got the hairline going, dude.
Yeah, bro. And if you knew how vain this cat was, bro, we used to be on the street.
But I can tell by just how he holds the horn, though. Yeah, yeah. Find a young one. I want to see.
That's a Monet too. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Monet trumpet. He got the same thing, but the way his embouchure is like Wynton too. You see it right there.
But yeah, we're going to do a whole thing on that, man, because you know, I wasn't even thinking about jazz at that. So there's a lot of that era
80s musically
that I don't know at all, man. But look, you made a really cool about you know, what'd you say? You said something about work when we were talking about working on hard tunes. You had a little
tune. Oh, there you
go. Barometer tunes.
Yeah,
that's him. So, because like, you know, if you're a rock musician, man, go try to learn some Yes. Go try to learn some. You know what I mean? Like, challenge yourself. I just saw this really cool. What's the cat's name? Is it JJ? I want to say his name is JJ Blair, but he has a cool Instagram where he's getting stems from tracks and then playing all the individual parts. He just did something on Yes's Roundabout. He did a 2-parter. He got the whole thing. And he was listening to all the parts individually and listening to them actually record the song because you can hear them talking about the parts and trying the intro. It's really cool, man. It's really, really, really cool. But yeah, man, barometer tunes, man. We got to put a little list of barometer tunes out, man. So yeah, so that's super cool, man. I'm sorry. What did I miss?
When I was in the Air Force Band in the 70s, everyone was into jazz. We all exchanged notes and really were on fire with it. Yeah. 70s, man. Lost years of some of these jazz cats, bro.
Yeah. Because 70s is like CTI, a lot of the CTI. I mean, all that stuff, man. But to me, the 80s, because that's when the straight, they were trying to bring back the straight ahead stuff.
They were trying to, yeah. And they even try to get the direct line for the basses and stuff. You know, he was trying to really get into the fidelity sound of recording jazz, you know, because jazz used to be like an area mic kind of thing. It was never closed mic. It was like room recording, you know.
So yeah, so that's a little snippet, man, on where we are in terms of. Well, what do you give I guess I recorded the song, but I put a little snippet up. So I guess I'll send you the whole thing. But I think it came out pretty good for the. I mean, what was really the first time we did it, man. I mean, I don't even count that because it was like I wasn't even in the. You know, I couldn't. I couldn't play it at all because I
And
just couldn't hear it.
it's like the first time you ever had wasabi. You taste that, you're like, ooh. Then the next
It
time you
was
taste, like,
different.
okay, I can deal with it, right? A
Hmm.
little bit, and then after a while, you get more accustomed to it. But I
Yeah, I
mean,
dealt with it because I was looking at that chart. That's how I dealt with it.
yeah. I look, I was thinking about that song because the first time, just trying to digest it, it didn't make a lot of sonic sense, right? To hear how the changes should move, right? And then
Hmm.
once you figure out, well, once you play it, because I remember when we were gonna do it, you're like, man, we need to shed a little bit more before we do it. I said,
Yeah.
bro, I think we just need to just do it, just jump in, dive in, and see what happens. But you got to put yourself out there, right?
Hmm.
Like, there's a lot of people watching on that first tune, and some people are recording, so you have to put yourself out there, right?
Ugh.
So
Yeah.
so I'm glad we didn't record record that one.
I know.
We made all kind of mistakes.
But ain't nobody know the tune anyway, so they didn't know
Exactly, they wouldn't know.
what was happening. So it's
But
all good.
a lady commented and she's like, "You guys were smiling so much on that tune." I'm like, "You don't know. We finally started feeling a little bit comfortable on it."
Right.
And I looked at Joel and you went on that 2/4 measure, boom, boom, boom. I was like, "Oh, somebody said it on this chunk."
I I mean,
So I'm like,
yeah, but I'm looking at that chart. That's what it is. So I'm looking at that because you just have to, man. You have to follow. You have to have that roadmap there because it
Right,
just
right,
does
right.
musically. It's not going to make any sense. All right, enough about Skane's Domain, guys. Thank
Okay.
you for indulging us, and we had an interesting weekend. We're going to dive a little bit into that a little bit. We had a gig, dude. Where was that?
Hayesville, North
Hayes
Carolina. The
Hayesville,
tip
North
of
Carolina.
North Carolina as it intersects Georgia and Tennessee. I didn't even know you can get to North Carolina from there, from that
So
area.
we had a concert
The Peacock Theater, Performing Arts
at the
Center.
Peacock Theater, and it's just a cute little mountain town, and
Mountain, right?
it's a mountain people, man. There was
You gotta
mountain
turn off
people,
your radio when you drive it. When you driving that mountain, bro. You gotta concentrate.
man. So we, it was a rough there was a rough stretch of about probably 20 minutes or so, I would say, maybe a little longer
Yeah.
to get there, but other than that, it was a nice little drive up, man, and we got there, plenty of time, and it's literally a one stoplight type of, I mean, the downtown is like 2 blocks
Right.
basically, but they got all the latest, they got a brewery, they got a little coffee place, they got all the little things, but we played a concert there as Saturday evening, and we're going to talk a little bit more about a couple of things that transpired during the evening that is in our title. But the first thing we're going to talk about, man, is I had a conversation today with somebody about a certain a sort of an annual gig that they've been doing that has that has now changed hands in terms of who is booking the gig.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more headache and a lot more red tape.
Yes. Did you freeze up a little bit? Hey, Falgu, do you see this as well? Okay. So yeah, he's so one of those things is like relationships, or playing relationships or gigs that you've had. Are those gigs, as soon as they start to become a burden, do you start thinking about those things differently, like why you should do it? And so I kind of like this frozen picture because it's like he's echoing everything that I say. So I could really just say a lot of stuff right now. And it's like he's agreeing with me. Isn't that right, Chris? Yeah. If y'all just shake, if y'all just shake your screen, y'all could have had it. But it's one of those situations where you examine gigs or you examine situations, you examine relationships, and uh the topic that Chris is referring to is burning bridges. And so, you know, uh, what is a bridge? Is a place that takes you somewhere and takes you right back. So if you burn a bridge down, you can't go visit there, but also you can't come back and they can't come visit you. And that old adage is never burn a bridge. And I think that's the impetus for this conversation. It's like never burn a bridge. So if you guys want to put in the comments, should you ever burn a bridge? Like, I mean, you're looking at relationships, you're looking at situations, you never know when you're going to come back. I'm not going to give my answer yet until we get some answers in the chat. But yeah, the question is, should you burn a bridge? All right, and we got our first person right now says, um, unless it gets rebuilt. Oh, you're back. Man, I love the Frozen picture because you were agreeing with everything I said. You're like, yeah.
Did it freeze?
It did. It did.
Man, yeah.
Come on, I got to switch back to my.
Yeah, no, you should be first, man.
No, man. So, hey, I asked the question, Chris, in your little momentary absence.
All right.
We were talking about relationships or gigs or situations.
Mm-hmm.
Should you burn a bridge? And then Jasmine / Betty Wooten says, unless it gets rebuilt.
Well, let's talk about that. So I was trying to set that up before my computer. I didn't have my power cord in my laptop, so that's what happened there. But listen, check this out. Hold up, don't pull that up yet. Don't pull that one. Don't pull Brad's comment up. All right. So I was talking to this cat. Annual gig, changes hands. He's dealing with completely different people. They giving him the runaround. They cut the money, et cetera, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? I mean, you don't know what I'm talking, but you understand what I'm saying, right? He was like, man, all right, I'm gonna do it this time, but you know, this gonna be it for me. You know, it's just so. My question is, okay, well, you actually asked the question.
But go ahead and ask it, you know.
So, well, you already asked the question, so let's talk about it, man. Because I'm gonna get everybody's opinion. We got people chiming in, and the old saying is that you should never burn bridges, right?
Yeah, just said that.
You ever seen is that what you said? That's an old saying? Oh, okay.
I say it's an old adage. It's
old adage. All right, now check this out.
Page, baby. We're on the same page. It's all right.
All right. So what's the movie with De Niro where Bronx Tale?
Bronx Tale, yes.
We talked about it. Okay, so there's a scene in there where this kid owes this dude money, right? Yeah. And the dude keeps running from him.
Right.
All right. He can't get his money. Every time he sees him, where's my money? Cat runs
yelling,
off.
Come here, get my money.
Chaz Palminteri is there the last time, who's kind of the cat's, mentor or whatever. And the dude, and it happens again. Hey, that kid owes me $20 or whatever.
Yeah.
Chaz Palminteri's like, what are you doing, man? He goes, who is that kid? It's like, man, he owes me money, man. He's a jerk. Da 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 da. He goes, you just got the guy out of your life for $20. Be thankful. Right. Now, I relate to that because, in my opinion, there are certain people that do not need to be in your life any longer. Okay. Now, depending on, because I'm not always talking about from a social, well, yeah, I mean, actually from a social angle, definitely from a business angle. Okay. Great movie. Well, but from a business angle, man,
for a relationship thing, that could be repaired, right? Could it be?
Like, it could be.
Done you wrong. If they came back humble and apologetic, and they're like, okay, take ownership.
It's going to, yeah, that takes care of itself, right? Okay. If
but a situation,
man,
like what Rayo Kroc did to the brothers who started McDonald's. Can't come back from that one, bro.
Oh yeah, or McDowell's.
Mac. They got the Big Mac. We got the Big Mick.
The Golden Arcs, man. The Golden Arcs. All right, look. My thing is with bridges is that there are certain people that have I've known at a younger part of my life that I look back on and they are no longer in my. I mean, I could talk about musicians, friends, yada yada yada. But let's talk about it from a musical angle because that's kind of like where we're going here.
Yeah,
friendship, stuff like that. That's a little bit different, but on a musical angle, right?
Right.
Can
I give a disclaimer too?
Okay.
People who are listening, and if you think that me and Chris, we're not on your gig because we burned the bridge with you, that may not be the case. So, Chris is already looking like that is the case. I'm just saying it might not. It might be because we're busy and look. I'm not tooting our own horns, but we are first call musicians, so we might not be able to do your gig. So don't feel any kind of way that maybe the reason why we're not on your gig is because we blew up the bridge. Now, Chris has a look on his face right now that he said, it absolutely might be the case why you don't have me on the gig. But I just want to put that disclaimer out there. Please check with us before you start saying that we blew up y'all bridge or something. But or maybe not check with us. I don't know. But don't get in your feelings about it.
I mean, that's up to you. I mean, I feel like this. No, I mean, and it doesn't always have to necessarily be. It doesn't always have to be personal, right? No. But the parts of the puzzle change. The just I got a lock outside to my crawl space that got because we had to open the thing in so long, so the I can't even get the key in there anymore, right? I had to get the lock cut off, right?
Right.
Sometimes life is like that. To me, life is like things change. Things that fit at one time do no longer fit. So we're using the word bridge as a kind of a metaphor. I mean, it's kind of a funny. We're kind of being, we're kind of half joking.
It's where bridge, like I said earlier, you can go across it and come back. So that bridge is useful if you got to go somewhere, and it's useful for those people to come back. If you burn the bridge down, how long will it take before you can go back over there again, or that person come back to you?
But define burn the bridge, though. Let's define what that is. Is it your fault or is it the other person's fault?
Well, I mean,
that's what I'm talking. See, okay, so
if that bridge is burned, it's somebody else's fault. You're just like, okay. Unless you burn the bridge, unless you did something where you got cut off, right? But it's always the person saying, I'm not. The person has the power to say, I'm not going to go across there anymore. I'm not going to utilize this bridge. This bridge is gone. I don't care that I'm thinking to myself, I will never use it again. And sometimes you do that with emotions going, it's like, I'll never do this again. And you don't think it through.
I'll tell you this later, but a mutual friend of ours, so he was doing some studio work for somebody, right?
Right.
And this cat a little prickly, and he's a little prickly anyway, right?
I think I know who this is, maybe.
So, but the cat, and I was kind of co-producing this thing, right?
Oh wow!
And I said, I was like, hey man, I think we might need the cat do this cat to get another, because he was actually recording remotely, so it wasn't like he was in studio, right. But sent the track what he played, and I was like, man, we need some. I mean, cat only sends one track, like. Right. I said, man, at least do it couple times, give us an option,
Right.
I was like, man, we need something with a little more fire to it, man. So So my man relayed the message, right?
Ooh.
Man, of course that didn't go over well, right? So I come back and I'm in between these guys, right?
Right.
And I'm like, hey man, I said, man, why you talk to the cat like that, man? You didn't have to say all that. He was like, bro, I ain't never gonna use that cat on none of my stuff. Right. And I ain't never gonna see that cat ever again. So as far as I'm concerned, I really don't care. And it was just kind of funny, man. But I thought about that. And I was like, well, he's probably right. It's because you know how it is when you cross, if you doing something that's completely out of your thing.
Right.
We don't really think like that because all our, you want to leave all roads open, but some people, man.
Soundman, I'm like, there's people, I will never use this ghetto sound ever again.
But my thing is this, man. See, the older you get, less is more.
Right. Oh yeah.
So the less drama you have in your life, the better. The less stress you have in your life, the better. Does that always equate to? Because to me, when you burn a bridge, it doesn't always have to be like this nasty fallout thing. It's just like, hey man, we don't need to work together anymore. Period. Point blank. End of discussion.
The bridge is burned. The other person doesn't even know the bridge is burned.
Well, but they do. No, they don't know it. But when you stop accepting their invitations to do stuff, they gonna figure it out real quick, right?
Right.
And I'm not trying. And this is what I'm saying. I'm saying when you're younger, it's kind of different. But I think about certain situations, dude, that we have both been in, that we both know the same individuals, and I think, man, that was a complete waste of my time.
Did you burn the bridge though? So burning bridge is incendiary. I can't even pronounce the word incendiary. I can't pronounce it. You flaming it out, right? So I think that this goes past and just not saying nothing about it, ceasing. This is like you said something or done something so egregious or so direct that everybody knows this bridge is like, where you like, listen, this ain't happening before. You may have had a meltdown with a person, something. That's what I feel like burning a bridge, because if it hasn't gotten to that point, that bridge is still available. It's just that you don't know it yet. In your mind, you're like, man, I'm never gonna do it. But burning the bridge is like, hey, everybody knows.
Right.
Like a certain drummer and bass player was on a gig and they had it out on whatever. That bridge ain't never coming back. That's burning a bridge, right?
Right.
It's not like that person said to themselves, I'm never going to play with that cat, and the other cat does nobody. No, they had it out in the open, and that bridge was like burned.
Right.
So I think that this is really the topic, is that there's no way back from this,
Yeah. Well, we've seen it on Facebook, man, over the last several years with politics.
Gangsters,
I've seen people fall out that have been friends for 20, 30 years over politics, right? Which is why I never, only with my close friends do I ever discuss any of that stuff. It's never out there, right? Because it just, for me, it's just not, I guess it's not that important for me to broadcast that, but for some people it is, man. And like for me, music, like there's certain things that I believe in, sports or musically or whatever, but like to me, religion, politics, man, those two things, you are asking for problems, man, with people. Because you have so many emotional,
Right. I'm reminded of a situation that happened with a certain drummer and a certain guitar player. Right. And the guitar player told a joke. The drummer was like, hey man, that's not cool. I did that voice. I shouldn't do it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And it was like, that one was kind of quasi bird, and then they got back on the gig And then they really burned it because I asked him and said, "Your boy's back to his old tricks again."
Man. See, but so here's an example though.
Right.
For that drummer,
right,
that's a good bridge to burn.
It's definitely a good bridge to burn
because you ain't got to be bothered with this joker no more. Because sometimes, man, here's the thing: as working musicians, sometimes you make a decision based on, all right, man, I'm gonna help this cat out.
Right.
So when you're in a situation where you really don't want to be there, you the only reason you're there is because you're trying to help this other person out. And then they act up on top of that.
Right.
Nah, man, I'm out because it's like I shouldn't even be. How many times have I told you that, man? Like how many times have I told? It's like, dude, if I'm not supposed to be somewhere, man, something always goes wrong.
Yeah.
I could be. I told you that story driving home from Churchill. We was on one of those late Churchill gigs.
Yeah.
Cat asked me for a ride home. I'm like, man, I had to think about that because I'm like, man, if I give you a ride home, ain't no telling what's gonna happen. I'm not supposed to be going that route, you know.
Right.
Lo and behold, get stopped by the police on the way home. Nothing. I mean, it was cool, but it was like, still, I would have never been in that situation had I not been trying to escort your behind home.
Right. Right.
So, we all do that. But I'm saying, like, on gigs, man, like there's certain things where it's like, all right, man, I'm gonna help this cat out and see, blah, 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 blah. And then they act up, but the reason, and then you're quickly reminded sometimes, right, of why you don't do what you are doing at that present moment with that particular person, because it's like, man, it's gonna be unorganized. You don't know when you're gonna get you understand what I'm saying? So it's like
you already know what it's gonna be, and if it's things that trigger you anyway, you're like, why? I need my mental health to be in order and stuff. So, a good thing is we haven't answered the question, me or you, yet. So before we answer the question, can we kind of put up?
Let's get to some comments. We got comments in the chat. Let's see what people think.
Let's start with that Brad one. Okay.
Never burn relationship bridges. Time always changes things. That's a lie. You lying.
All right, give us the next one.
What is Pot Horser doing?
Brandon Reed.
Looking at the chat.
I burned a lot more bridges as a younger musician. I never text or email a venue back now until I've had time to think and cool off. That's interesting, Chris. When you were younger, did you like burn some bridges?
No, not when I think when I was younger, I was pretty. I mean, you make mistakes, but I know guys that did do what Brandon, make some of the mistakes that Brandon is talking about here.
Right.
I was always like the dude that was trying to, like, I'm trying to be everywhere. So
right.
I was doing stuff.
Well, what
man,
about
you know how it is.
Chronically late as a young person, and you like your bridges, you burn the bridge because I can't hire you anymore.
Man, I remember this one gig I did. So this is kind of funny. Falgul, this will give you a good idea of my Notre Dame fandom, right? So this had to be, man, like mid 90s, late 90s, something like that. I had a wedding gig. Notre Dame was playing Michigan, though, right?
Right.
Bro, I was living in Noonan at the time, right? Wow. I was like, man,
I still can watch a little bit more.
I could still watch a little bit more. I could still watch a little bit more. It's to the point to where, dude, I'm like, man, so I'm like speeding to the gig and stuff, man. But now I'm hungry. I'm like, man, I got time to go through the drive-through.
Oh, drive-through mess you up every time.
So I go through the drive-through, man. Go through the drive-through, man. Get something, man. Like a dummy, I get to the gig. I'm super late, dude. I mean, I'm like, dude, super, super, super late, right? Man, I'm so green. I walk in with the bag.
They're just shaking their head, huh?
And this dude's like, he's like, man, he's like, we're supposed to be sound checking at such and such and such and such. And I'm like, man, I'm sorry, man. Eating fry. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Man. I had to,
You be like that drummer.
He probably doesn't even remember this, but this is my good friend Doug Keys, man. And we had this wedding gig that he was in charge of, dude. And everything, I'm probably exaggerating. I wasn't that late, but I was late. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I walk in with like a bag of like
little grease
fries or whatever, dude. I was thinking about that today. And all he kept saying to me was, just get dressed, man. Just get dressed. Because, that was back in the day, we were tuxedo. You had the tux,
right.
The tux vibe.
Penguin suit you had to wear.
Oh, my gosh. I don't even, if Doug's in the chat, he probably doesn't even remember that. But
Doug Keys, by the way.
Yeah.
All right.
That was
with the next one.
Something. All right.
No, keep all options open. One contract may lead to gold. Never know. All my work is word of mouth.
Yeah, but what we're talking about, Rich, is somebody that you've worked with before that is jive. Right. That's what we're talking about.
It's not going to lead to anything.
Rich. It's going to be the same old.
Right. They're going to want you to edit all the film, all this kind of stuff.
Do more for stuff. $50.
Right. Right.
You might have done it on Goodwill a couple times. Man, I'm see where this leads, yada, yada, yada. But they keep asking for the same. Right.
And he might be a charismatic person. He might be a likable person. And that's why you've been hanging with them for that long. But then you're like, man, I can't do it. All right. Sometimes bridges fail. It's okay to burn the bridge. And should the need arise to get back, build a new one or find a different way. I'm down with that different way.
Yeah. I think if you have a real, unless like, what are the absolute, you're never going back to be friends with this person. Usually it's what? It's over a relationship, some kind of relationship thing, money.
Yep. It's a big one.
Really, those two things.
Yeah.
Like for dudes, somebody steals your lady.
Oh, bro. Yeah.
Relationship over.
It's it, bro. Yeah.
You loan somebody a lot of money, they never pay you back.
Yeah.
Those are the two things as musicians.
Wreck the car, take your car, wreck it, bring it back.
Absolutely.
Like, yo,
absolutely.
Or you're not gonna take care of that.
Right. Or with musicians, cat didn't pay me.
And then they put back on that, you didn't deserve to get paid. You're like, whoa, sir.
I've never had that one before. Well, you had that before?
Not me, but there was something recently on Facebook. It's like, you didn't deserve to get paid. Another person was like, man, I freaking built this place like that. You didn't say that, We'll talk afterwards.
All right, you gotta let me know what that was.
Yeah.
Let me know what that was.
A certain studio in town, but anyway, so.
Oh yeah. Oh man, yes. Man, shoot.
But
both of them can go fly kite. Both of them. I got beef with both of them cats. Both of them, bro.
That's from the left side of the dial, you guys, right there. Left side. It's saying all those things. Any relationship can be. I don't have to read all these. You can read the next one if you want to read it.
You jumping in, man. Go ahead.
All right. Any relationship can be repaired, but it has to be wanted on both sides. Nope. They want it on their side. I don't want it at all. Come on back. I got 2 gigs. Somebody said, I got to give for 4 hours for $75. And then we're going to pack up real quick and go to the next gig for another $75. And I'm looking like, what? It's like, man, that's $150. I was like, for 8 hours? No. And I got to pack up twice? No, man. So sometimes that relationship on the one side, they want it. And I'm like, nah, I can't do it. Can't do it.
See, that's a relationship that needs to be burned. God.
Bob.
Because that's what what that cat is about. So end of story. End of story. We got any more?
Yep. You got
what
it.
else we got? What else we got? Oh, is this one here?
Yeah, go for it.
You have to be very careful in business because you never know who and or when you will need someone.
That is true. But you have to, it's calculated. If you're gonna burn a bridge, you taking all that into consideration. You like, look, I may never see this person, and they may come in contact with somebody and put my name in the mud. But at this point, I don't even care.
You know what I say though, man? There's always a replacement.
Well,
look, I'm just saying, man. That goes for everybody. I'm not just talking about. I've been replaced. You've been replaced. I'm talking. There's always a replacement, man. There's always a replacement.
Let's play devil's advocate, though. To
okay.
Betty's point.
Okay.
What if you keep it to yourself that I'm not going to work with this cat again?
Oh yeah, I mean I believe in that. I'm not talking about.
But burning the bridge is like the relationship is severed. It's not happening.
But like, it is severed.
I can see in my mind, I'm not going to go to that person, and then that person's opinion on me is still intact. But if I burn the bridge, that relationship, that person's whatever disagreement we're having, they got their side, my side. If they run into somebody, hey man, do you know a piano player you could recommend? And they'll be like, man, I would give you. So I heard about this cat Tyrone Jackson. Man, don't hire him. This is what he did to me. We've been, he hadn't paid me and all this kind of stuff. He haven't done this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But if I held that to myself, like if somebody, there's times where I paid somebody because they felt like they were wrong, even though I know that I told him from the very beginning, this is going to pay a cert. I was trying to help the cat out. This cat tells me, hey man, I shouldn't do their voice. Like, hey man, usually this is I charge this amount of money for it. So I said, well, what did we agree on? I know, man, but I didn't know it was gonna be sounding this good, man, and you might make a record. I'm like, that's beside.
I know you're talking about.
Yes. I said, you agreed to this.
Right.
So the person's like, man, I don't think it's fair. I said, okay. Now I was well within my right to say, bro, this is what you agreed to, this is what you get. But I said, okay, what if I gave you this? I said, okay. So I gave him that. And I knew, I'd say in my mind, I'm never calling this cat again for this.
But that's what I'm talking about.
But I never told him, get the F out of here, man. You
don't need to tell him. He know. You don't need to tell him.
That's the burning the bridge. See, that bridge might still be there on his end. If I'd have kicked him, if I grabbed him up, threw him out, that bridge is severed right there.
That bridge could be there on their end, and when they try to walk on it, it's gonna crumble just like in the cartoons, man.
But
that's how I look at it.
That is not a burned bridge. A burned bridge, you can see, there's no way to get across this junk. That's what a burned bridge is. You looking like a little faulty bridge, but this is a burned bridge,
Okay, all right.
So I guess so. For Betty's point, if that person gets a chance to recommend you for something, they would probably do it. All right, what's our next one, Fagu?
Yeah,
I'm glad the comments are getting lit up.
Plus.
What's plus mean? No good deed goes unpunished. That's probably how you feel, huh, Chris?
Yep. Let's see.
The drummer that can't keep
time might be a what?
Only one available. So what you gonna do? Like get a percussionist. congas.
Might be there. Well, if that's the only cat that you know that can keep time, you might want to do something else for a living.
She said that the drummer that can't keep time might be the only one available.
But that's my point.
Might be, that's the only person you know.
If that's the only one. That's the only look. How many times, man? Okay, so here's an interesting question, right? Because I know cats that will not call certain people, and I'm sure I'm on that list, right? And that's fine with me, man. Because, dude, you don't want to do, man. You can't do everything, man. And no. I'm telling you, man, there is anyway. That's a whole nother thing. But there's certain people that will not. You have them. I have them. Yeah. Everybody is like, I'm not calling that cat. I don't care. I would rather call. You know, I'll figure out another way around the situation. Right.
Right.
Even if it comes down to, you know what, this gig is not going to, I'm not doing this. I'm not even going to do this gig.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to sometimes you make executive decisions based on a lot of times who's available. But
have you ever had a confrontation though?
Okay. It's like,
you was at your wit's end and you said to the cat, listen, man, I'm never going to hire you again. Or don't ever call me again. I had one first gig I had here in Atlanta. Cat called me for a gig playing the Super Bowl. I think I told everybody about it at this club. Super Bowl was a long time. We played before the Super Bowl started, and then the cat said, "Yeah, we don't go back on again until the Super Bowl is over." I was like, "The Super Bowl is over with." At the end of the night, bro, we played. It was like 8 hours. I get $10. I said, dude, what is this? He said, well, the other guy hired a guitar player, and I hired you. I said, so we just split it in half. I said, dude, you have to eat that, bro. You promised me $20, whatever you promised. It was $20, bro. I shouldn't have done it. I said, I would have rather the guitar player had it himself, right? This cat said, I can't give you my money. I can't split that up. I said, man, what's your name, man? And this is what I told him. I said, man, don't never call me again. Don't ever call me in your life again. Hey, I took his number out the phone, bro. I don't even know the cat's name, but I know he's a saxophone player. I was like, man, I was green, bro. I was just here. I didn't know who to stay away from. They got me. But don't you ever. I made it be known.
When you knew like that, man, that's the problem is if you're new.
Yeah,
you in trouble, man, because
you don't know
you're
going to
be. Man, think about the places that we've been, dude, playing gigs over the years.
Yes.
That I don't even go over there. If I don't, for social, there's nothing that would make me go over to some of these places that we used to play for gigs, but man, that's funny, man. No, I don't think I've ever had. I'm trying to think, man. I don't think I've ever had that. I've been in situations where that's happened from people, and they've gone at it over, whatever the pay or. One cat was trying to get some money. Cat didn't even. The only thing he showed up for was the gig. He didn't show up for rehearsal. He didn't show up for sound check, and then he wanted the same money as everybody. He one of those guys.
Oh yeah. No.
One of those guys.
You had to cut him loose.
All right. Hey, put up Lamatina's essay. Please. Put up the essay. Put the essay up. All right.
You want me to read it, or you got it?
I'll read it.
Go ahead.
I had a musician that said I turned him into the IRS. That's funny. I said that I had no idea what he was talking about. He says, well, maybe it was the other Italian.
Wow. Double whammy.
Oh, man, he never apologized. That's burning the Verrazano Bridge.
Oh, wow.
Man, this is hilarious. There's 5 people in the world I won't talk to, and he's all 5 of them.
dialing. If you're Dave Chappelle fan. Oh, that is hilarious.
Man, dude.
You see, John LaMattina turning somebody into IRS. Hey man, he got tips at Harris Casino, bro, for the gig that he paid. That was about $1,000.
That's funny, man. Oh, that's hilarious.
And risk turning themselves into the IRS. You don't play with the IRS, bro. You don't even make
Betty had a good question. Where is it?
The scenario? Okay.
Yes. Okay. This is a good one.
And it's a 2-part
scenario.
So
you have a contract for a gig. You have to call that burned bridge. Why?
Well, look at the next comment, because that's the part 2.
Are you going to lose the gig that potentially lead to something better? I'm still not. Look, I'm getting every referral from. I'm gonna find somebody else. You could find. This is why networking is so important, because if you only network within a certain radius, you are going to be what? You are going to be a slave to those few people that you know. This is what you, man, I hit every scene trying to get to know people.
Right.
Because, at a moment's notice, you can pull some rabbits out of a hat if you know some people, man.
Right.
I mean, you've done it. I've done it. I'm sure other people on here have done it. I've never there's people that I didn't want to call. And sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'd rather play with the cat that maybe ain't that great, but what you know about him, he's going to be there on time. He's going to have on the right, whatever you ask him to wear. He's going to learn the music, and you're going to get paid and go home. Sometimes business is business, you know?
And like knows like. If you stick with a person who's shady and whatever they're doing, probably the person they gonna recommend you to is shady as well. Shady knows.
Man, isn't that how it works though? Yeah. Isn't that how it works?
The same people's like, hey, there's gonna be a lot of people in my gig. It doesn't pay any money, but you make a lot of connections. I make a lot of connections to people just like you. That's want me to volunteer for it. That's just what, I want to make the connections to people that's paying money. Let's go there. I promise you, you're going to meet a lot of people.
How many times has that worked out? The exposure gig. The exposure gig.
This is straight at you, bro.
Chris, stay with her first comment. There are no others to get. What do you do? There's always somebody.
You're asking the wrong person.
So for instance,
innovator in
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I go down the list of piano players. Okay. Boom. Can't do it. That's my man. Next cat can't do it. Damn.
It's guitar time.
Next time they can't. This is what I'm getting to. Next cat can't do it. All right. Now, there might be some others.
Right.
But I'm not going that far. I'm calling a guitar player. Boom. Sorry, this cat can't. You're going to eventually, if it's all about knowing a lot of people. I can't stress that enough. I've never been caught. Now, I don't book my own gigs all the time, but I've done enough of them and I've been caught like that. I've been caught where none of my A-cats can do the gig.
Right.
So what's my next move? Okay, well, number one, I'm going to have to rethink this repertoire that I want to do.
Yes, that's the first.
I'm just saying, right? You have to that's the first thing. I have to rethink the repertoire that I want to do. Okay, so now I'm here. Okay, so what can I do to make the most out of this? Okay, well, we'll do this stuff. That's why, man, being versatile, knowing people, that gets you out of a lot of problems. If you can only do one thing and you are stuck in that one thing all the time, you are going to get caught like that.
You will.
I'll go, bro, to the other side of something to get, and quite as it's kept. There's people that play different genres. They may not advertise it, but you might have been on a gig where you've had to play a corporate gig or something like that. This cat can swing a little bit. I'll call him.
Right.
How many times does that happen? You're like, okay, you just got caught the other day. Man, who can I call for? I'm giving you, man, call this cat. You was like, man, I would have never even thought about that. I mean, it's just about being resourceful, you know.
That's why you never know when your impression is going to be. You know, you can't tell when that impression you're going to do is going to make on somebody, right? It's like, oh, man, you know, this person plays a little funk. I never knew that they played funk or whatever, you know. So
exactly. Yeah. See, and that's another thing is when you pigeonhole certain people, and you and I have been in, have got, this cat only does. It's like, no, that's a lie, and you know it's a lie. You just don't want the word out, get the word out that we do all this other stuff because we're infringing on what you think your territory is. Been there a million times.
Yeah, but they can just step into ours like nothing. Right?
Yeah, exactly. You've been there a million times, man. It's like, oh, okay. That's
Jazz don't make any money, huh? Okay, I thought Jazz didn't make any money.
That's another. Oh, okay, yeah, all right, cool, all right, yeah.
Hey, you know what I thought about too? I saw this podcast.
Hold up, this is Reed Mancini's comment.
I preferred the quietly disappear method, but sometimes you got to tell folks to lose your. Yeah, bro.
Lose my number.
Sometimes you gotta turn red, bro. Sometimes you gotta turn red on him, bro.
Lose my number.
Don't you ever call me again?
I like that one. Lose my number. I'm like, that's a good one.
Seems like there should be a sucker at the end. Lose my number, sucker.
Oh, this has been a fun conversation.
Hey, Chris, if you get audited by the IRS, bro.
Lamatina. I know who it was. Man, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, that's a great conversation, guys. Thank you for chiming in.
Wait, you never answered your question yourself. Do you burn a bridge? I think we know. For you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
As I'm older, there's a place that I they would say they wanted me to play there. They may act like whatever. And Mulgrew Miller actually told me this. He said, listen, there's some gigs, if you want, you got to stop playing. And I said, but I can't afford to do that. He said, if you want to get a better gig, you got to let go of these other gigs. Right. And he's exactly right. And so this one place kept on saying they was going to hire me. Meanwhile, I see people getting hired there all the time. They keep telling me, hey, we're a year out. And I'll tell them, okay, book me a gig a year out. I got work to do. Just put it down. Don't hear anything. So I said, okay, I'm not going to burn this bridge, but I'm not going to play there, you know, whatever, as a side man. Somebody else goes in there. They say they want me to play piano. I said, man, I just don't want to go play there anymore. Like, no, it's not like that. I said, okay. I was like, and then they said I had a talk with them, and they said it's going to work out. I said, okay, go play the gig, even see the person. No, it's not like that. Whatever. 2 weeks later, I contact them, say, hey man, it was good seeing you guys, blah blah blah. Whatever date you have available, give it to me. I might have it open, just let me know. Nothing. I was like, I'm not going through this again. Now when you're going to want me to play there, I'm gonna say no. I had to burn the bridge. It's gone. I'll never, saying this right here, I'll never play at that place again.
Damn, hold up.
You got a little technical
going on. My power cable is like because it's just my energy thing, guy. Keep going. You
need to burn that bridge to Amazon.
I need to burn a bridge with this freaking power cable.
That mixer, bro. You gotta burn that.
It ain't got nothing to do with the mixer.
Gotta burn that bridge, bro. I was ready to burn AT&T bridge, but my video's been coming in pretty good now. Your sound, bro, has been suspect, and now you get the new joint, and it's drawing power from it. Burn that bridge, bro. Burn it up. Yeah.
I wonder if it's this. This is hot.
So we had what did I see Doug Ponier say something? Or did we put that in already? Oh, he said, yeah, no good deed goes unpunished. And Doug was in business with a music store, so he well, I know he burned a bridge one time.
Man.
Oh, somebody said, but Mr. Tyrone, that's not burning a bridge. Meaning what? So I'm trying to figure out what scenario burning a bridge that I didn't burn. So if you could put in a comment with specifically I was talking about that didn't burn a bridge. But hey, you got to do it sometimes. Some of those relationships, you're like, well, it is burning the bridge because I'm never going back to that club. I'm never going to play at that club again. And they want me to play there. They want me to play there as a side man.
I may have to switch to my second computer, brother.
Because they didn't hire you? Yeah, they hired me as a side man. I played there before when they had the other owner and the owner that died, their kids took over. And so they kept telling me that they're going to hire me. So that's the difference, Betty. They're saying that they're going to hire me, and they said nothing's wrong with it. And I'm comparable, if not better, than the talent that they had there that keeps getting gigs. So what am I supposed to ascertain from them the reason why I couldn't have the gig? Now, let me preface this, Betty. My own band was in there, except for the person who played in my one person played in my band would get me the gig there. But it wasn't my band per se. It was this, and it was a really good drummer that got me into playing there under my own name. But when I wanted to hire Chris in my band, because he was in my band at the time, all of a sudden I can't get a gig there without that person being in my band. So that's telling me something's going on. Now, I could take it if you said, hey, we only want this person in your band because you're not strong enough on your own to draw a crowd. I can deal with that. I could even say, hey, I think you're wrong, but I understand it's a business move. But when you don't say anything, and then I come play as a sound man, a side man, and you say that I'm incredible, and then they're playing my CD in their building, their establishment. It's in rotation. Man, miss me on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
all right, we're good.
This podcast I saw, Chris, was this guy from the Raiders talking about Antonio Brown. Did you see that?
Oh my gosh. I don't need to see it, but I mean, I can tell you.
He said, man, he's like, we wanted desperately. The owner loved him. The cats on the team was like, man, he's the missing link, whatever. And he says, we just had a conversation. AB gets in front of everybody and goes, man, okay, I'm finished with the shenanigans. I'm ready to be on board. So quarterback is like, yes, we're about to make this thing happen. He's like, 20 minutes later, the dude leaks John Gruden's phone conversation. He says that he shows up with entourage everywhere.
You talk about burning bridges.
Right. And they're like, this dude can't get out of the way. All right, let's see what Betty said to that. Understand, just keep doing what you are doing, and maybe one good old day they'll call you. But here's the thing, Betty, about this. This gig is a nice gig. It doesn't pay a lot of money. We just do it because to get away, right? We do that gig to get away. So if they call me now, they can't afford me. They got to come up with some big money to get me to come out there, because now the juice is not worth the squeeze. I've been there, done that already, and they're getting me at a premium price. No, below a premium price. So the only way they can get me back is to pay me money that they don't have. Would you agree to that, Chris?
Yeah.
It's not worth it going. You know the place where I'm talking about. What I bring to the table,
but again, and that's well within your right to know your worth.
Know your worth. I could stay home for that amount.
Know your worth, man.
Right.
Know your worth. So, all right, y'all. That's been a great. We could keep going on this. It seems to have hit a. I know there's other people in the chat that haven't chimed in that want to, but they scared.
I'm sorry, right. Betty.
Don't be scared.
Lit something off there.
Betty, Betty coming with it. You know, just asking. That's what I like, man.
I like it.
So anyway, let's wrap this up, man. We've been on here for
Oh, let's go to the next one.
We've been doing good at the tailoring the shows. This one is kind of
Falco
floating a
doing
little
A-Man
bit.
right now.
Kind of floating, having some technical man, my power cord is thing was hot as
80s.
I'm like, man, this power cord burnt out. I don't know. That's crazy, but it burnt out. But you know what? The brother had a spare. See, that's why you got it, man. Had a backup, man. That power cord burned the bridge. That power cord burned the bridge. But what? I had a spare. I had another one. You got to have. Okay, I'm just kidding. All right. Anyway. All right. So.
All right. We're not finished
yet. Do you want to go? Because this might be. All right. So we're gonna. Should we save this? Schmoozing in the green room, dude. Or should we just go into it, man? Because I know Falgoon.
I'm wearing
everybody's
green
all
for the topic today.
Oh my god!
This is why I wore this shirt. The bridge over the ocean, and it's green too. So I try to wear it for the same thing.
So, what is your gig, man? You tell what happened.
All right, so if you're a musician, you know this, but for us, not for you guys who are non-musicians. The mental acuity that it takes and the physicality of playing an instrument is a lot. So you go in there,
right?
You have a sound check. You're trying to get your sound replicated. You're trying to get your setup.
Oh my god! There's so much to think about. There's so much to think about.
A lot to think about. So once you finish sound check, you're trying to retain whatever you went over, and you got to entertain the crowd and all this kind of stuff. And everything is like that. You don't have time to really think from tune to tune, whatever. You have to just be ready to go. So there's the area of time where you need a little decompression, and it's a green room for a reason, right? So you go into the green room, you're chilling out, you can talk.
What's the green room supposed to be for, man?
It's just for the artists.
Or close.
Close friends that invited people. And so you can get to talk about whatever you want to talk about before. You can even talk about the venue, the people, man, these people, whatever. You let that stay in the green room. So, that's your time. Or you talk about, man, I hate this tune, whatever. But whatever you're going to talk about. It's not for public consumption, but you're also decompressing, right? You can have a little snacks in there, a little food, whatever. Unencumbered, right?
Some snacks, man. Some snacks.
And we're just chilling. Two people just come down eating popcorn. Hey, y'all.
Like, can we help you? It wasn't even hey, y'all. It was
we're coming to
bust.
Schmooze.
We came to schmooze.
Now, wait a second. Can I talk about this first? Because I was going to go into the dressing room and change.
Hold up. But wait. Well, before you did that, before you talk about that, you got to be quick, man. I can't. Okay, you got to be quick. So they come in, bust. I mean, just like sits on the couch. One sits on the couch. One standing in the doorway, eating popcorn, and it's like, we came to schmooze with the musician. Now they're working in the. Were these people in the box office or something? Volunteers or whatever? Yeah. And so you saw me do what, man?
You immediately gathered up your thing.
It was so quick, dude.
And said, I'm going to change. I left out. You missed the best.
I was watching the game, man. I had the game on, man. Where everybody was in their own zone.
But here's the thing: how you gonna use my line that I said I was gonna do?
I didn't know that was your line. How did I know?
I said, man, I'm gonna get changed. You like, dude? It's 7:30. We don't play till 8:30. Man, chill out.
Oh yeah, I said you did. Because at the time, it was we are a family, man. We was we had to sit there.
If I would have went to change, I would have.
If you went to change, you should have went with your first instinct, man. Right. Should have gone with your first instinct.
I should have said, dude, me too. That's what me too should have worked out. You're like, man, I'm going to change. I should have said, me too. Left them down there with the other guy.
Should have been part of the,
I said,
should have been part of the Me Too movement, man. Me Too
right. Movement. I should have said, you're right, bro. It's about that. Looking at my Gucci, it's about that time. That's what I should have said, bro.
I mean, we came to schmooze. That line will live forever in my.
What's the mindset, Chris? Because they had to go down a heck of a lot of the stairs to get to us. Like, are they upstairs? Says, hey, let's go see. There's another group playing.
Well, the thing is that it's a small. They probably don't get many people,
Right.
So it's an opportunity for them, they think, to hang out. But what's the funny? But you haven't even said the funniest thing.
I have
What's the
not said
funniest
the
part?
funniest line yet. So
So I was gone. I was
he was
out of there.
gone.
I didn't even hear this.
Were you there when the vocalist asked what they do? You weren't there with that. You just out because they just kind of came there and said we came to Schmooze. So we were like, so what do you guys do? It's like, well, we're volunteering with the theater. And then the wife said, we're retired like that. Like, okay. So our vocalist said, well, what did you do before you retired? So I was like, I was in the administration, medical thing, and my husband was in finance. I was like, okay. Then there's a little stall in the conversation, and the husband says, do y'all like Bojangles? It's like, what? I didn't know I wanted to answer that. And Billy Thornton said, I just had a Bojangles biscuit the other day. And he says, well, I work at Bojangles now. And then the wife says, he doesn't hunt, he doesn't fish, he doesn't play golf. He's like, yeah, I'm making chicken now. I'm just getting acclimated. So he says, hey, y'all live close to where it is? I said, we're staying at the hotel. He's like, come through in the morning and come to Bojangles. And his wife says, yeah, he'll comp you some food like that. Like, okay. So we're like, there's food in the hotel, but I gotta admit, I saw people lined up at the hotel and I had to get on the road. So I went through the drive-through. I didn't see him. So I was like, oh, okay. But our
Oh,
vocalist
you went? You didn't tell me you went.
I did. I went in the morning, bro, but I didn't see him. I went to drive-through hoping to see him. And here's the thing: I only ordered one thing, so maybe he can give me some extras. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I didn't get the bowl rounds, which I wanted the bowl rounds.
You didn't tell me you went, man.
I did. I went early, but I just got the chicken biscuit, right? And I was like, I'm not going to even get a drink. Maybe he's going to throw in coffee and some bowl rounds, whatever. So I came up to the window, bro. I looked in the window like this. I was looking for the cat. He's like, hi, how you doing? I'm like, I couldn't even remember his name, so I'm looking for him, bro. So there's a young cat back there, and he's just like, kind of like, hey, like this. I'm like, man, get out the way. That's what, man, where the cat at, man? Well, I left there with just my little biscuit, bro. I was like, no bull rounds, man. Come on. So
you didn't tell me you went, man. You didn't tell me.
So the vocalist goes, bro, and she goes inside. She's like, aren't you singing last night? She's
she
like,
went
why,
too?
Yes, she went. You didn't know that was in the
no.
Chat. She's like, yeah, why? Yes, I am. And he says, oh, okay. So he says, when you want to eat, so she ordered it. He says like this, press like a little button. He goes cling like that, and she's like, what's that? He's like, I just gave you a 10% discount. She's like, oh, what about the comping, man? When he came to Bojangles, bro.
Oh,
like, he got us, bro.
10%.
10%, bro. That ain't even a family discount right there, bro.
That's hilarious.
Bruh.
I can't believe y'all went. So y'all went to the one.
We put it in the chat. You thought we were joking. We weren't joking.
I didn't see where. Oh man, that's funny. I guess I didn't read the chat.
Bro, I was looking. I should have gone inside, but I was looking in that drive-thru, bro. The young guy was like, "Hey," I was like, "Get off me, man! Get off. I'm looking for old boy, man. I'm talking about a finance guy." I should have known when he was a finance guy. We weren't gonna get no cop stuff, bro. I should have known. That's like Pod Horse to say he's gonna give you something, bro. You know. Pod Horse are probably the one turning people into the IRS, bro. Mama Tina, check and see if Pod Horse was on the books. Oh man. Do y'all like Bojangles? I should have kicked them out the green room when they said that.
Oh god, man.
No. If I could go back in time, dude. Look at Lama Tina said, what a piano player wouldn't do for some bull rounds. don't turn him into the IRS. There you go. Oh man. Oh, Lama Tina, you're right, bro. I should have turned him into the IRS. He gave my girl a 10% discount. Paying taxes on that. Oh man. Corporate on his behind, not giving us no comps, man.
Oh man, dude.
We here to schmooze.
10%, man. 10%. Hilarious. Podhorser must have left the chat because he would have said something to say.
Oh man.
Oh, that's funny, man. I'm glad I didn't, because that hit me. Like, I'm glad.
We were just going through scenarios. You like they put the singer on fries, and I'm like, what you say? They put the singer on chicken back. Chicken dooley.
Put her on biscuits, bro. Let's see. You can help.
Oh, look at Podhorse. Guess you burned the bridge too.
Yeah,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, guys. We had a great time with y'all tonight. If you're following us or haven't followed us, subscribe to the YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, on Instagram.
Leave a Lamatina story, bro.
Man, that's hilarious.
IRS.
These old school cats, man, they were ruthless, man. They were ruthless.
Oh,
I guess that was the other Italian.
Italian, bro. That was even more egregious than the first thing, bro.
Oh man,
dude. Man.
This was a classic show. There's gonna be some nice cut-ups from this.
Oh man, I'm crying, bro.
Some nice cut-ups. All right, guys, subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, on Instagram. Leave a comment. Set your notification bell. All that good stuff. Share this show, which helps us out as well. Thanks to everybody in the chat: John, Brad, Podhorser, Sigwell, Rich, Betty. Had some great comments. Brad, Mancini. Who else did I miss? Daryl. Let's see. Did I miss anybody else? Brandon. I think that was it. Billy Ross was in earlier. I think that's it. Help us get it. Yes, you can. Well, we tried to get the donations, man. We ain't getting no donations, so I stopped putting it up there, man. You know, if you want to support the show, you can support the show.
Yeah.
But that's crazy, man. That thing, I'm glad I checked that, because that mug was burning hot, man. Not good.
Yeah.
Not good at all. I never experienced. Have you ever experienced that before?
Yeah.
You have? Okay.
Yeah.
I know, it's the first power cord that Mac been good to me, man. Yeah. I got an old, that one that Neil Starkey gate, man. That mug is still churning, man.
Wow.
I never had any problems with that, but of course this is a newer one, so there you go. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We will be off next Tuesday. We are in holiday party. Yes. I'm talking about
straight
run for the next couple of weeks. So we will be off next week, and then the following. What's the following? The
21st. 21st is the next. Yeah, we should be off on that one too. The next one is the 17th, right? We're off on the 17th.
I think we might be off both, because we got stuff, man.
Yeah,
all the way up to oh. What's up, biscuits?
What if she got biscuits? She got biscuits. That's 10%er.
10%, Lori. I can't 10%. Believe it. 10%. That costs your gas money is 10%. Like you spend 10% on just going over there.
Right.
Hilarious. Hilarious. So yeah, so 10%. After the 17th, the next one is Christmas Eve. I'll what you think?
I got a gig on Christmas Eve.
Oh, where you at? Private?
No, it's a church.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Ashbury Chapel.
Okay. Well,
Y'all live
we'll
in
see.
Gainesville, come out to it. It's gonna be cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see what we're gonna do Christmas Eve. Everybody's gonna be home. I don't know. We'll see what we
You might be on that gig with me. I'm gonna check and see if they would like
Oh,
to
that's the one you were talking about. That
Yeah.
Okay. We'll let you know about the 24th. Probably not. So it may be a 2-week hiatus. I think Falgoo will be out of town, most likely.
Yeah.
And we might be, I don't know. We'll see. But we'll probably be off for the next 2 weeks, guys. So
Falgoo is like Channel 2 News, is dedicated and dependable, bro. You know.
Yeah, man. And then maybe what we'll do is over the holidays, we'll try to figure out we'll figure out everybody's schedule, but we'll let y'all know.
We're already telling you what time it is. Happy holidays, Chief.
Oh yeah, but I mean that's cool. He ain't. It's not like he gonna be.
Bruh.
Gotta come back at some time. Gotta come back. But I tell you what, if I think if what happens on the 21st or the 20th happens that I think is going to happen, we might be off for 3 weeks because that would mean Notre Dame might be playing on the 31st. So we will see about that, buddy.
You mean they might play Georgia? Is that what you're saying?
It could be. I think that's the Sugar Bowl.
We're going to have to put some.
Oh, no. I'm wrong. That's the the Sugar Bowl wouldn't happen until the New Year's Day. So, but it's still New Year's Eve. So Tuesday's kind of jacked up right now, but we may pick another day. We'll see. Yeah. But thanks, guys. If we don't see you all, have happy holidays. And thank you for supporting the show. And we will be back in 2025, it looks like, possibly. So y'all take care. Thank you for your support. And we will see you guys maybe in the new year. Peace. Yeah.